Ayan, so I think we should start na class, our discussion for today. Again, good morning to each and every one of you. I hope you're having a good day today, Um, before we start, no class, I just want to ask you, no, are you feeling, okay lang ba lahat ngayon in this kind of situation? Can we still learn something new into this kind of setup? Okay, sabi ni Mr. Reyes, okay naman daw somehow. Okay, is anyone of here class or working or a working student? Wala naman po. Okay, wala naman. So, ayan. So we are good now. I hope that everyone is participating in our discussion for today. And I can see naman na talaga nagpa-participate kayo. No? I am expecting to this section. Okay? So before that class, let me share my screen to you. Ayan. Ayan, nakikita na po ba yung screen? Okay, sabi ni Mr. Santos, nakikita naman. Okay, thank you for your response, Mr. Santos. Okay? Ayan, so before we start, guys, no? Ayan. Let me share my screen to you, my slide. Ayan. So before we start class, can someone please lead the prayer for us today in our online discussion? Okay, Sam, thank you for your participation. Okay, kindly lead us the prayer. Okay. Okay, amen. Thank you for that wonderful prayer, Mr. Sam. You may turn off your microphone na. Thank you for your prayers. Okay, I hope guys na even though we are at this kind of situation, we are at online class, I hope and I believe that you can still learn, diba, something new because uh, attending online class talaga is a must. And we should always make it, diba, a habit, not just because it is not required to attend, but of course, I appreciate that you always attend to my class because it is different from an online class discussion pa din kasi we have an interaction to each other. And I think, diba, if you're having a lot of difficulties in your life, diba, always ask God for a help, 'di ba? Always ask for God's assistance and 'di ba? The rest God will do that, 'di ba? You don't have to doubt for nothing. Just ask God and he will do the rest. Just believe in God's action, in God's promising action, okay? Let us always pray lang naman, okay? Are you feeling good today, class? Okay naman po lahat? Okay, very good. Wala namang problems in terms of internet connectivity? Wala naman po, okay. Sabihin po kapag si sir nagpuputol-putol po, okay? Okay, so I can adjust, okay? My internet connectivity, okay? Sabihin po kapag masyadong mabilis si sir magturo or you need some clarification, just kindly ask, 'di ba? Sabihin din po kapag hindi nababasa yung PowerPoint na naka-present dito sa screen or maybe I can modify, I can edit it in order for you to fully understand or to read the lesson that we are going to tackle for today. So ayan, before anything else, I would just like to have some attendance. Class, I am not requiring you to to say present anymore. What I'm gonna do is that you're just going to type 5 in our Google Meeting class, okay? So every present here, kindly type 5 and I will see. Okay. Sige, tignan natin kung sino yung mga present. Ayan, so Galbal, Santos, Mendoza, Dolar. Okay. How many are we in the class? 30 po? 30? Okay. How many are present today? Okay, 30. Oh, very good. perfect attendance ngayon, ano? I hope it will continue for our next discussions pa din, no? So, 'di ba? Maintain that consistency of perfect attendance, guys, because I believe that that will serves as your weapon, 'di ba? Kasi I am proud of the section na talagang they really appreciate attending online class and listening to my discussion. So, yeah, keep up the good work, guys. Thank you very much for your perfect attendance. Again, thank you po. Keep up the perfect attendance. And yun lang po. Okay? Ayan. Ayan. So before anything else, guys, I have just a question for you guys. Now, in our previous discussion, do you have any idea about our previous discussion that we have discussed? Someone please. Do you have any idea? Ay, before anything else din pala, ano guys, I would just like to remind you lang naman, ano, can you see my screen? Very loud and clear naman po yung voice ni sir. Naririnig po. And before anything else pala, this is just a guidelines about the rules and regulations that you need to follow. Just a simple lang naman, okay? You don't need to complicate yourself. Okay, just kindly read all of the guidelines that has been written in the slide. Okay, sabi dito sa rules and regulation, number 1, nakinig ha. If you have any questions, kindly press the raise hand button or you can use the chat box. Okay, so if you have any queries, suggestions, recommendations about our lesson. Okay, about our lesson lang, no? Kasi I will not entertain any unrelated topics or any questions that are not related to our topic. Okay, even though you find it very interesting somehow, but I guess, okay, we should deal first with our topic. And if it is just about personal matters, then I can just, I can just try to accommodate you personally, but not here in an online class because we are having a discussion proper, okay? Sabi dito, if you have any question, raise muna yung hand button. Kindly press the raised hand button first in your Google Meet. Katabi po siya ng mismong microphone and then you will try to open your microphone. O, papaano po yun, sir? Once I have not, I will be notified naman if there is someone who is raising his or her hand in the Google Meet, ano, and then I will ask you, okay, Mr. Dollar, kindly open you're raising your hand, kindly open your microphone, and then you're trying to state what you want to say. Simple as that, or you're trying to ask some questions, or you're trying to recite. Okay, just press first the raised hand button in the Google Meet, and then I will be notified and I will ask you and I will call you pala. Okay? Sabi din dito, please turn off your microphone and your camera. Okay, guys, I'm not requiring you to open your camera naman, no? And I understand there are some students who are having a hard time dealing with opening their camera just because they are trying to deal with the internet and as well as naglo-load lang po sila. So understandable naman po siya. But as much as possible, okay guys, since I cannot monitor you, 'di ba? What you're doing today because you're off cam, as much as possible, as I've called your name, you can instantly answer what I'm trying to say or ano yung tanong na gusto kong or tanong na gusto kong isagot sa inyo. Okay? Just be attentive, class, and as much as possible, try to be involved in our discussion na lang kasi I cannot assure that I can monitor you 100% because I am not requiring you again to open your cameras for the sake of others na din. Okay? Intindihan po ba si sir? Okay. Sabi dito, once I have called your name, kindly turn on your microphone. Yan yung kanina ko pinaliwanag po. Okay? So, ayan. Moving on. Okay, before anything else pala, no? I have some questions lang naman about our previous discussion. Can someone please, 'di ba? Do you have any idea, guy or class, about our previous discussion? Can someone please? Oh yes, you are raising your hand, Mikey. Kindly turn on your microphone. Okay, very good. Ano, sabi daw ni Mr. Mikey, about our previous discussion, we discussed about the three phases of matter. Okay, do you have any brief discussions or any additions about the three phases of matter, Mikey? Wala naman na po. Okay, wala naman na. Okay, so let me add up something now. When we say the three phases of matter, it consists of the solid, liquid, and gas. Whereas the solid has the rigid surface. Okay, rigid particle, which means it has a compact, dense particle, which ibig sabihin may specific shape siya and specific volume. No, unlike with the liquid, you considered liquid having the container in order for the liquid to have a specific volume, because a liquid is a flowing phases of matter. Okay, it does not have a specific volume. You need some container, sabi ko nga, para ma-fit si liquid, or in order for the liquid to measure. Okay, naintindihan po ba? Same as with the gas, is having a tawag doon, kalat-kalat na particle po siya in our atmosphere, that have na it has no definite shape then, and wala rin po siyang definite volume. Ibig sabihin yung parang mismong definite size niya. Okay? Kasi nga kalat-kalat po si gas. Okay? Intindihan ho ba? Okay, always remember that class, that those phases of matter, even though it's just the basic principles of the chemistry, those are the things that we always need to be reminded of. Kasi yan po yung mga principles na gagamitin natin when we get deeper and deeper to our discussions in general chemistry for the upcoming discussions. Ano? So I need you to fully understand the basic concept first before we get deeper and deeper into more specified, and at the same time more complex discussions for the upcoming lessons of our subject in this semester. No. So ayan, thank you, Mikey. You may now turn off your microphone. Thank you for your participation. So, as I have said, diba, there are three phases of matter na nga, guys, that we have discussed in our previous discussion. Ano, I would just like to ask you guys, no, there is still some idea that I have discussed, no, very important po siya. Ano po yon? Can someone please add up? I mean, do you have any idea, or do you have any knowledge pa about our previous discussion na yon? Yung isa sa pinakamahalagang sinabi po ni Sir yon. Ano po yon? Oh, yes, Ash, you're raising your hand. Kindly turn on your microphone, please. Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. The fluids. Ano? As your classmates have mentioned, the fluids. No. How can you explain the fluids, Mr. Ash? Can you add up something to fluids? The cold fluid. What is fluids anyway? Mm, okay, very very good. Okay. Naipaliwanag niya naman po ng ayos. Ano? Sabi nga po ng classmate niyo, as your classmates have mentioned, no, fluid considered as those phases of matter that reacts with motion, ano, whereas liquid and the gas are considered as the fluids, no. Sir, why is it that the solid is not considered as a fluid in terms of the phases of matter? And how can you classify if it is a fluid or not? Actually, a solid has a rigid surface. Nga, no, it has a specific volume, whereas its atomical structure is built in. No, hindi man, it's indivisible. Na unlike for the liquid, you are flowing, diba? And let's say for example in liquid, you have a bottle of water and you try to spill it in the ground. What happens to the water? Of course, it will flow right at the ground, and at the ground, it will be forming like a little beads, diba? Creating a surface tension to it. Kaya nga nagsasabi siya na it reacts with the motion. Same as with the gas, diba? Kasi gas has no definite volume, has no definite shape, as I have mentioned earlier. That is why you can consider this flowing through the motion. Kaya 'di ba may mga air na kung saan gumagalaw lang po sa atmosphere natin as time goes by kasi they react with the motion. Unlike with the solid, it requires a force, 'di ba? Requires a force. But then again, you cannot actually classify if it is flowing kasi nga po hindi po nagkakaroon ng reaction yung mga molecular compound na present doon kapag solid particle po siya. Okay, naintindihan po ba? Okay, so ayan, just a little recap lang naman po ano about our discussion, and I'm so proud of this section that they are attentive and at the same time they can actually state at what they are trying to say. Ano, very very good talaga. Na-retain na po talaga yung knowledge nyo, no? So I am proud of this section somehow. No? again, before this is just a recap, no? So before anything else, before we tackle to our discussion, no, I would just like you to have a little bit of a motivational activity. So sir, ano po yung gagawin namin? It's just a little bit overview what will be our discussion, and you're just trying to guess, okay? Trying to guess the picture. There was jumbled letters. Okay, paunahan po ito ano. So again, I will be notified. Just please press the raise hand button in your Google Meet. Yun lang po yung kailangan gawin. Okay? Na, anything else, wala na po. Okay? Si sir na po ang bahalang tumingin kung sino yung mauuna kasi it will be notified naman po. Okay? If any questions, wala naman. Okay. So the title of our activity for today, just a motivational activity, guys, you know. Shuffling letters. Ayan. Represent na ako from 3 to 1 na, bibilang ako. Paunahan po ito. 3, 2, 1. Ayan. Can someone please what is being said in the picture? Ay, wait. Ayan, what is being said in the picture? You're having a hard time, guys. Okay, Lena, you're raising your hand. Kindly turn on your microphone. Okay, very good. It's freezing. Ayan, nauna na si Lena. Next naman, bawi na lang kayo susunod, guys. Ayan, bawi na lang kayo susunod. Okay? Ayan, what is it, guys? Okay, Mian, you're raising your hand. Ano po yung nandoon, sabi? Okay, burn. Ayan. Thank you. You may now turn off your microphone. All right, Christina, you're raising your hand. Okay. Kindly turn on your microphone. Okay, boiling. Tama. Ayan. Paunahan po ito, ha. Number 2. Ano naman po ito? Okay, Ken, you're raising your hand. Kindly turn on your microphone. Okay, very good, Rusting. Ayan. Ano po to? Si Ola daw, sabi ni Mr. Reyes. Kilala nyo nga siya sa Frozen. Ano ibig sabihin niyan? Okay, Tracy, you're raising your hand. Okay, melting. Ayan. What is it? Okay, Shan, you're raising your hand. Turn on your microphone. Okay, chemical. Ayan, chemical po siya. Lester. Nauna si Lester. Okay, si Lester muna, okay? What is it? Okay, temperature. Very good. Ayan, temperature. Ayan, good job na. Good job, guys. Ayan, so based on the pictures that I have shown to you, that I've portrayed to you guys, may idea na po kayo ano what are the discussion that we are going to tackle today. If alam ko may nakita niyo naman na din sa mismong front page ko what is the lesson that we are going to tackle, ano, but then again it is related, no. I'm just going to relate. Bakit nga ba may melting? Why is it that there's boiling point? Why is it that there was a rusting chemical? Anong kinalaman niyan dito ngayon, okay? We were now going to tackle this. Ayan. So, before anything else, ano ba yun? Ayan, so, ayan, so guys, can you see my screen na po? Ayan. And so before we discuss our lesson for today, there are some learning objectives that we need to understand. Okay, at the end of the lesson, students are expected to number one, define physical and chemical properties of matter. Number two, determine the physical and chemical changes of an object and display positive scientific values and attitudes after conducting proper investigation in chemical and physical changes. So, actually guys, lahat ng learning objectives that I have shown to you, it is important. Ano, kasi you need to acquire that skills, that learning methods, that objectives at the end of the lesson. So, I am hoping that you could attain that. Okay? Ma-achieve nyo yan. Mm. Ito na yung lesson number 2 natin for today. Physical and chemical properties. Okay? So do you have any idea what is physical and chemical properties? Can someone please? Okay, very good, Erin. You're raising your hand. Mm-hmm. Actually, you have a point there. Ano? But let me add up something. No? When we say sabi ng kaklase niyo daw, physical has something to do with physical properties and chemical, which technically totoo naman, okay? But let me add up something na to clarify na lang din and to fully discuss our introduction of our discussion for today. Sabi kapag physical properties daw, how can you classify an object if it has a physical property? Sabi, describes a characteristics of a substance that can be observed or measured. Ano? How is it possible po? How can we measure if a physical properties or an object has a physical properties? Actually, there are some objects that you can classify if it is a physical properties. No, we are going to define it now. Hmm. There were two classifications if an object can be classified as a physical properties. Number one, the qualitative observation. Number two, the quantitative observation. No, a qualitative observation po, sir, we say that you describe it with the words, okay? Halimbawa, density, how dense an object can be, diba? How compact an object can be, you can describe it. The color, okay? Is it evident the color has something to do with the significant changes? Let's say, for example, from color red, naging indigo siya. It's actually a physical properties because you can evidently see its physical formation by in a means of the color kasi nagbago na po yung kulay niya. Same as with the hardness and the melting and boiling points. Mamaya we will going to tackle how important the melting and boiling points in the physical properties. Ano? Kasi medyo maano siya ngayon. Dito naman tayo sa quantitative observation, sir. What is quantitative observation? Okay, if you have any idea about the research, of course, di ba? When you say quanti, it means to quantify or to to measure a number, a specific number. And sir, how can you measure temperature? Actually, temperature, height, and mass are example of units that we use in order to compute for a specific object. Let's say, for example, in the temperature or in the viscosity, di ba? If an object has a high viscosity, then therefore it has a low temperature, whereas they both are inversely proportional to each other, diba? They're inversely proportional in a sense that as the temperature increases, the viscosity decreases. Ibig sabihin daw po, kapag tumataas ang temperature sa isang substance or sa isang liquid, hindi daw po siya lumalapot in a sense na mas nagiging malabnaw po siya. Okay? Whereas kapag bumaba na daw ang temperature, dun daw po mas lumalapot si liquid. Okay? Dun daw po mas naging concentrated yung mga molecules na present sa liquid. And we can classify viscosity as a means of opposing motion. Okay? Kasi nga ang liquid is any kind of a fluid that is flowing, diba? And the viscosity is the one who actually initiates to counteract the motion. Kung gaano ba siya kalapot, hindi ba siya easily flowing? Let's say for example, a honey, oh, 'di ba? Same as with the height and the mass. Okay, does it have any significant changes with the height and the mass? We can actually measure it, diba? There were some measurements or there were some formula we are using in terms of quantitative observation of the height and the mass of a specific object, 'di ba? Ayan. Dito na ngayon tayo magkakaiba. Sabi ng klase niyo ni Erin, chemical properties daw something to do with the chemical change, which is totoo naman po. Ano? Though let me add up to clear up the situation. Ano? When you say chemical property, it describes the chemical change. What is the chemical change of an object? How can we classify if an object undergo or has undergone chemical changes? If it has a modification, of course, of the chemical composition that was present from the kind of specific object. Okay, paano po natin malalaman yun, sir? Of course, if the chemical formula has been modified na, okay, may changes na nangyari chemically, not physically. Okay, yun po yung pagkakaiba niya. When you say the physical, it is the physical formation that has been changed. Chemical formula. Okay, bawat objects, let's say, aluminum. What is the element of aluminum? Al. And then someone has paired, let's say, for example, sodium chloride has been paired with aluminum. And then they react with each other, causing a new product. And that was chemical changes. That was chemical properties because there was a modification, there was some properties that involved chemically or yung mga atoms na present na doon, same as with the molecular compounds that attract or both um, combined with each other, forming a new product from a chemical reaction, you can consider it as a chemical properties po. Ano? So, nakakasunod pa ho ba? Okay? Is it clear, class? Do you have any questions? Masyado bang mabilis si sir? Hindi naman po. Okay. Naiintindihan naman po so far our topic. Again, it's just about the introduction pa lang naman, no? And if you have any questions, do not hesitate, okay? Do not hesitate to ask me questions because I like those students who are asking questions, okay? I need some clarification. I need your mastery of this subject. So, I need your participation as well. Ano? So sabihin po kapag paputol-putol si sir sa internet connectivity, I will try my best to fix. Okay, again, my camera is not in a steady state position, so I always adjusting my camera. So I hope at the end of the lesson, we will tackle a smooth, okay, in terms of discussing the substance of our lesson. Okay? Naintindihan ho ba? Okay, thank you. Ayan, class, before, as I've mentioned, di ba, I've discussed what is the difference between the chemical and physical properties. Now, you alone should try to guess what is said in the picture and, of course, classify if it is chemical or physical properties. Again, paunahan po ito. Someone? Okay, yes, Erwin, you're raising your hand. Okay, very good. Okay, so boiling water. Oh, what is it? Chemical or physical change? Actually, guys, it's a physical properties. Ano? Ayan. Physical changes siya and under siya ng physical properties. Why, sir? Bakit po? Eh, di ba, boiling water has something to do with the molecular compound. Nagbabago-bago po yung volume ng water. Nababawasan siya kasi nagbo-boil siya. Actually, hindi siya ganon, okay? Sabi nung klase niya, hindi po ganon yung paliwanag. Okay, you may turn off your microphone now, Erin. Thank you for your participation. Ayan. Let me clarify the situation. No? When you boil a water class, what comes to your mind? 'Di ba, bumubulwak yung tubig. And pag bumubulwak yung tubig, of course, you can see that there was steam coming out of the water. That steam actually is a water din naman, no? We considered steam as a water in a form of a water vapor. Okay? 'Di ba, nagpakulo ka ng tubig, 'di ba? There was a heat coming from the stove and the heat is the one who made the convection process in order for the liquid molecules for the H2O to separate from each other and transform to a new phase of matter na tinatawag nating water vapor. Ano? Ito very basic or very logic example. From liquid, 'di ba? Liquid water naging water vapor, naging gas. Is it can you still consider this as a chemical or physical change? Physical change po siya. Kasi nagbago lang po yung formation niya physically. naging liquid siya from being liquid naging transform siya into gas, which is a water vapor. Okay, it's the process of evaporation, guys. Okay, we need to remember that. Does it have any significant changes in terms of its chemical composition? Wala po, sabi ni ni Mrs. Bigalbal. Oh, wala actually. Okay? Even though the water is in a liquid form, it's still H2O. Okay, yung molecular compound niya is still H2O, and kapag naging gas po siya, it's still H2O. Now, does it have any modification in terms of the molecular compound? Wala po. Okay, it's still H2O. Two hydrogens and one oxygens paired to form a covalent bond na tinatawag nating molecules na liquid water or water vapor. They are still both H2O. Nagbago lang po yung physical properties and yung kanilang phases of matter just because of the convection process na pinoproduce ng heat doon sa pagbo-boiling process. Because 100 degrees po ang kailangan sa water, di ba? In order for the water to boil. So I hope you're all aware naman din dyan. Alam niyo naman na yun, okay? Mga STEM students naman kayo, I hope that you're aware from that. Okay, so moving on. Okay, naintindihan po ba so far? Class, do you have any questions? Masyado po bang mabilis si sir? Hindi naman. Naintindihan so far? Okay, kindly type 5 to our Google Meet in our chat box if you understood it well. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your response, guys. Ayan. Oh, number 2. Oh, can someone please define what is it? Wala. Ayun, Mr. Levi. Oh, you were raising your hand. Kindly turn on your microphone, please. Okay, very good. It's a chemical changes. A chemical property. Oh, can you add up why this chemical changes? You're not sure. Okay, so thank you for your participation. Again, you can turn off your microphone. Thank you, Mr. Levi, no? So, ayan, sir, you are saying, di ba, if it is physical changes, it is something to do with the physical changes. Di ba? Why is it the rust? We cannot consider this a physical changes. And nagbago po yung itsura niya from a silver-like structured na rod, naging siyang parang nag-aagnas na naging orangey na reddish yung kulay na naging kalawang. It is something to do with the physical, di ba? Because we can physically see or we can visually uh, judge, 'di ba, kung ano yung pagkakaiba nila physically. Actually, yes, no. There were some significant changes. But guys, as I have mentioning earlier, 'di ba? Lagi kong pinaulit-ulit from the second time, again, when you classify if an object has undergone chemical changes, it must be or it has to be something to do with the modification of the chemical compositions present to an object. Paano po yun, sir? Ayan. So I have here, can you clearly see Fe3O2 6H2O? Ayan, nakikita ho ba? Very loud and clear. Again, hindi ko na i-discuss literally yung mga chemical equations. Again, we will be discussing it for the upcoming discussions of our online class because it is part of our discussion in our subject, no? But then again, our focus is just the chemical change. In order for the chemical change to fully support or what I'm trying to say, I've indicated some of the formulas in order for you to fully interpret or to differentiate what is the difference of chemical and physical changes. No? Sabi ko dito, sabi po ni Sir, pinaulit-ulit ko na naman po, okay? It has something to do with the modification or the changes of chemical composition. Sabi dito, 4Fe. What is Fe in the element? Iron, right? Plus 3O2, ibig sabihin tatlong oxide, oxygen. Hindi na natin i-discuss yan. 2 times 3 is 6. Total of 6 oxygens plus 6 times 2 na hydrogen, 12 hydrogen plus 6 oxygen. Okay? Ibig sabihin, to simply explain kung ano ba yung mga pinapaliwanag ni Sir John. Okay? Huwag kayong don't you worry about that. Okay? We will going to discuss that sabi ko nga, in our next discussion because we were going deeper and deeper in general chemistry. Ano? But then again, you just have to focus, okay, in classifying chemical changes. Eto, in the right side, as you can see here, the 4FeOH3, that is the product of the chemical reaction that is happening. Kasi nga po, when you combine the iron, let's say for example, a simple iron rod, you combine it to oxide. And what is oxide? Oxygen, okay? Where can you find an oxide? In the atmosphere, of course. The oxygen is the gas or the air that we breathe, 'di ba? In order for us to cellular respirate, 'di ba? And yung magiging product natin is of course the carbon dioxide. Nagkakaroon siya ng shift from plants to animals as well as to us, 'di ba? Alam niyo naman na yung oxygen o H2O. How can you classify if a water is there? 'Di ba? Are you familiar guys if there was some changes in terms of the, let's say for example sa iron kapag nabababad siya sa tubig, 'di ba? As time goes by, you can see that there was a modification of uh the 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 metal, nangangalawang siya, and at the same time present din kasi oxygen sa kanya through the atmosphere. Kaya po siya nangangalawang ngayon, no? Kaya wag na kayong magtaka kung bakit kapag laging nababasa yung bakal nyo and as time goes by, you can see that nangangalawang po talaga siya actually. Kasi nga po si iron ay reactant po siya kay oxide as well as kay water. Okay, oxidation process po siya, but then again, sabi ko nga, we are not going to tackle it yet. Again, as we go deeper and deeper to our next discussion in our subject, we were going to tackle about that. No? So I just want to have a support about the chemical changes in order for you to fully classify about what is the difference of chemical and physical changes. Ano? Naiintindihan ho ba? Hmm. Do you have any questions, class? Okay, sabihin kapag naboboring na sasayaw si sir, de joke lang, okay. It's just about okay, just for the ambience of our lesson para hindi naman gano'n ka-blunt, okay? Wala pong tanong, sure? Okay, shall I proceed to the next? Okay, naintindihan naman, Okay, so I hope kasi if silence means yes, then I'll take it as a yes kasi walang sumasagot, 'di ba? Mamaya ako magtatanong sa inyo, okay? Okay. Ayan. About this picture. What can you see? Can someone please? Paunahan na naman to, ha? Okay, Mr. Erwin, you are raising your hand. Kindly turn on your microphone. Okay, very, very good, very good. Okay. Actually, nasabi niya na lahat no? Can you define what is malleability in your own idea? Okay, wala na daw. Okay, so thank you. You may now turn off your microphone. I appreciate your idea and your participation. Again, class, sabi dito ni Mr. Erwin, tama po siya, nakaklase nyo, physical changes. Sir, bakit po siya physical changes? Okay, you can see, let's say for example, you try to mash a specific metal, an aluminum, 'di ba? And malleability is a process of, process of hammering, forging something into a, a very thin sheets, 'di ba? So, aluminum foil from being an aluminum, naging aluminum foil siya. Can you classify it as a physical change? Yes, kasi nagbago po siya yung physical structure from a normal metal naging parang sheet-like paper na siya. Sobrang smooth in a sense na kaya mo siyang i-crumple like a crumpled paper. Let me ask you something. Does it have something to do with the chemical change? Sabi daw ni Mrs. Lisa, wala daw po. Okay, tama, wala po. Actually, okay. What is the element of aluminum? Al, 'di ba? Pag ba hinarden or hinammered natin si aluminum foil, Nagbabago ba yung element or yung chemical composition ni aluminum foil? Hindi po. It's still aluminum. But then again, it has something to do with the physical changes. Again, you can classify physical changes if it has undergone physical formation or nagbago po yung nagkaroon ng physical changes. However, you can classify if a chemical is a chemical changes, if an object has undergone chemical changes, if it has a modification of its own chemical properties. Okay, properties. Sorry, pardon. ah, okay, naintindihan mo ba, class? Do you have any questions? Clarifications, recommendation, queries? Wala naman po. Okay, moving on. I hope that you process that into your knowledge, no? Ayan, so this is different examples of physical properties of matter, no? The length, the color, the density, the mass, elasticity, the pressure, the volume, luster. O, yan po yung mga ibig sabihin yan. Mga example lang po siya ng physical properties. And this is the physical changes. Ano? Breaking glass, mixing candles, shredding papers, folding paper, melting ice, chopping wood, cutting hair, dry ice sublimation, boiling water, and breaking eggs. Ayan. Ito yung mga isa pang classification on how you can actually change an object in its physical formations. Now, malleability, as I was saying, pag-hammered sa isang object in order for it to be crystal clear and at the same time pounded into a rolled sheets. Very good examples dyan is si aluminum foil na sinabi ko kanina. Another thing is the ductility, how stretchable an object is. Okay, actually, pwede siyang classify sa copper. Let's say, for example, you try to connect, diba, a live wire to a certain amount of a live wire, I guess, and then you try to stitch in order for you to have a connection of electric, diba? Para magkaroon ng connection sa electric, diba? Pinagtatay knot nyo sila, yung mga copper na present doon, and it's actually a form of ductility as long as the object can stretch. Okay, ductility po siya. Same as with the texture, how hard or how rough, how smooth the texture is. Okay, simple as that. Sinabi ko na kanina, melting and boiling points. Now, ang kaibahan lang sa melting, di ba? Physical properties pa rin po siya. Let's say ice. Okay, ice is what? Ice is what, guys? Okay, Mrs. Hannah, sabi ni Mrs. Hannah daw is sa comment section, solid. Tama. Solid. Kapag ba nagme-melt si ice, ano nangyayari kay ice? 'Di ba? It actually forms into liquid, which is from solid naging liquid. Does it have any classification that you can consider it as a chemical change? Wala naman pong nabago. It's still H2O. Whether it is in a form of ice, in a form of water vapor, in a form of a water liquid, still it is H2O. Okay? Naintindihan? Very good. Ayan. As I was mentioned earlier, the viscosity nga, a very good example is the honey. No? How resistance a fluid, how can a viscosity can resist in a motion. Ayan, 'di ba? Kaya kapag mas malapot, 'di ba, yung isang object or yung isang substance pala, you can see that it is very hard for an object to easily flow. Kasi nga po, they can viscosity is a process of resisting motion, of resisting a fluid to flow. Kasi nga, a fluid can only flow if there was a presence of a motion, and when there was a motion, there was a transfer of the force. Okay, you need force to have a motion, and the fluid reacts with the motion. The fluid is flowing. Okay, and the viscosity is the resistance of the motion. Naintindihan mo ba? Okay. Ayan, example naman ng chemical properties, the oxidation, heat of combustion. Again, class, if you are still nalilito pa ho ba kayo, if still confused about what is oxidation, it's just the process of transferring electron from one electron, and there was a charges present na from one atom to another, no? But then again, sabi ko nga, you don't need to first classify about it. Again, we are going to discuss it into to our next discussion because it is a part of our subject, no? We are under still pa naman of the basics, no, and we just need these principles in order for you to classify the chemical properties of an object. Same as with the reactivity, as I was saying earlier, the chemical bonds, ionic bonds, covalent bonding, anything from that. The flammability is actually one of the most very good example, the combustibility, the combustion reaction. Yun lang po siya. Wag po kayo mag-hesitate na ma-confuse dyan because again, I'm not including that to my lesson. Any computation against chemical properties. No, maybe I'm just going to show you some illustration. You're just going to classify whether it is chemical or physical properties. But then again, you are not required to solve yet. No, what is chemical and physical properties? So ayan. Ayan, this is an example of chemical changes. Sabi ko, burning wood, rotting fruit, baking a cake. O baking a cake, is it possible? Yes, because you were trying to combine, 'di ba, a lot of ingredients, and in order for you to combine, let's say for example, you combine baking soda to flour, there is a chemical reaction there, 'di ba? You combine, let's say for example, you combine baking soda with a vinegar. There was some chemical reaction also. Same as with our stomach, 'di ba? Hydrochloric acid is present in our stomach in order to fully digest. Okay? Yung mga specific nutrients lang po na kailangan ng katawan natin, yun yung napupunta sa blood vessels natin, and other waste materials that are not needed, of course, yun po yung ating wini-waste, or yun yung mga fecals na nating nakikita kapag tumatae po tayo, or 'di ba? Or sorry for the term, okay? Yun po yun, okay? So hydrochloric acid is the one who actually break down all of the molecules that was present in the food. Okay, that specific nutrients lang po yung kinikerry sa specified, let's say for example, sa mata. O, lutein ang present sa mata, kumain ka ng ampalaya, o yun lang yung nutrients na nakuha mo sa ampalaya, that will be transported to your eyes, okay, through the process of the circulatory, okay, the blood vessels present in there. Tumatakbo yung nutrients to natin. Okay? Habang nagda-digest. Okay, so it's important to us to always eat, eat, and eat, and eat. Yun lang po siya. Ayan. This is the very good example, guys, as I mentioned earlier, no? Let me just have some, a little bit, so far po, guys, naintindihan naman ho ba? Kindly, sige nga, pag naiintindihan, if you're still there, class, kindly type 5 to our Google Meet. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, so I hope everything's clear pa rin naman, no? You don't have any questions. Let's get to this combustibility. Sabi ko nga, this is one of the most exciting part, no? In discussion or in classifying chemical reaction. Sir, what is combustibility? Simple as that, apoy. Okay, fire po siya. Fire. Okay? How can you classify a fire if it is a chemical change? Actually, guys, this is a trivia, no? A very, very good logic. A fire po is a continuous chemical reaction. Ano? As long as the fire is lighting or the fire is burning, okay, you can see the flammability, the flammable object there na nag-iilaw siya na may parang apoy siya. As long as nagliliyab po siya, it is undergoing chemical reaction. Ano? Very good example here is the CH4. What is a CH4? It's actually a methane, no? Sabi daw po kasi, ito yung pinakakatandaan nyo kapag ang process kung paano daw po makakagawa ng isang apoy is that you need an oxygen, the heat, and the fuel. Those three basic principles. Again, the heat, oxygen, and the fuel. What is the fuel present? The CH4, the methane, right? Okay, what is, is there an oxygen present here? Of course, there it is, the oxide. Nakikita po ba si oxide? Ayan, no? So, how can we attain the heat? What is the source of heat? Okay, it can actually be in a sense of, let's say, for example, frictional force or kapwa apoy, as long as it produces heat. Okay, kasi ang apoy lang din naman ang siyang nakakapaggawa ng kanyang apoy, 'di ba? Ng produkto ng kapwa apoy, 'di ba? And we all do know that every flammable objects that can react with the fire also can actually burn and turn into a massive fire, 'di ba? So I hope you're all aware from that. So sabi po dito, pag pinag-combine daw si CH4, oxide, magkaka-produce daw po tayo ng CO2 plus ng H2O. What, sir? May tubig po ba na napoproduce sa fire? Actually, yes. No, guys. How is it possible? There are water that is being produced when you are burning, when there is a fire burning, no? Actually, guys, it's a form of water vapor, no? Hindi po siya yung literal na kapag, let's say for example, you lit a fire and then there was some sprinkles that was happening. 'Di ba? May nag-i-sprinkles ng mga water particles diyan. Hindi po siya gano'n. Okay, it's a form of water vapor. Okay, sa atmosphere na po siya nakikita. And then a very good example kung paano classify if a fire has an H2O or has a water vapor. Let's say, for example, you put a lid, okay, in a candle, and let's say, for example, you place the candle in the bottle or in the glass, and you try to put a lid on it. As you can see, you try to suffocate the candle. There is what we call as the moisture happening in the lid, and that was the water vapor present there. Okay. Sir, papaano naman po, saan po nanggagaling si carbon dioxide? Malalaman po natin yan when we discuss the chemical or balancing equation. Okay? So, ito muna yung magiging product niya, si carbon dioxide and si H2O. Kaya nga 'di ba, as much as possible, there were some scientists who are saying that as much as possible, try not to burn something if it is not necessary, because you can contribute, or it can be a beneficial, it can be a benefit to our ecosystem. Kasi nga po, carbon dioxide is the one who is destroying our ozone layer, 'di ba? Our ozone layer consists of O3, 'di ba? Oxide 3, three subscripts of oxide, oxygen. That oxide is like a field that was being a shield in order for us to, in order for us to never experience a direct radiation of sunlight that was coming. Kumbaga, ina-absorb po ng mga molecules ng oxide doon. Kaya po hindi po direct yung absorption ay yung radiation ni light sa atin, kasi nga po ina-absorb ng mga molecules na present dun sa atmosphere natin. And that was the ozone layer, or the O3. Now, how can the carbon dioxide actually destroys our ozone layer? Actually, as long as there was a production of carbon dioxide, nasisira niya po kasi yung mga present na O3 doon sa ozone layer, causing na nagkakaroon po ng pagkabutas, and then eventually as time goes by, 'di ba? People experiences a tremendous heat, 'di ba? A tremendous storms or a climate change, just because the sunlight is very direct to the point that we cannot avoid, 'di ba, the too much production of carbon emission, because in other things, let's say for example in industries, in factories, we use it, 'di ba? We use smoke. When transportation, we use always smoke. But again, guys, as much as possible, let us always conserve our energy. Okay? Conserve our fire, 'di ba? As much as possible, let us always remember that we need to take seriously about the climate change and the global warming, because it is a serious matter, and it can kill us. Actually, totoo po 'yun. Nakakamatay po siya, okay? Kaya wag na po kayo magtaka, 'di ba? Let's say for example in 2013, how old are you there? Mga nasa, let's say, 10 years old or what? Hindi ko alam, okay? 2013, signal number 3 lang, and then 2021 may signal number 5 na. How come? 'Di ba? Kasi nga po palakas na rin ng palakas yung bagyo due to the presence of the air pressure and the production of the water vapor due to the evaporation process, kasi nga po mas umiinit, mas maraming nako-collect na water molecules in the atmosphere, causing it to have a tremendous storm. Kaya po tayo lagi tayong nakakaranas, 'di ba, ng tremendous storm, just because malapit po tayo sa Pacific Ocean, and that, let's say for example, the Yolanda, nabubuo po kasi siya doon sa middle part ng Pacific Ocean hanggang sa nakarating na siya sa ano natin, 'di ba? Sa mapa natin. Eventually naipon siya ng naipon hanggang lumaki siya ng lumaki ng gano'n. Just because na rin po of the climate change, kasi there was some tremendous heat causing a tremendous uh, storm also. But that's just a trivia, guys. Ano? But then again, it is not part of our lesson. But however, it is an interesting fact that you need to know, no? Combustibility, no? Process of making a fire. Naintindihan po ba? Is it clear, guys? Are you sure? Mm-hmm. Okay, wala naman pong tanong. Sige nga, kindly type 5. Okay, so, ayan. Very good, very good, very good. Ayan. Ito pa example ng chemical changes, no? Tawag doon, acid-base reaction, okay? Combined acid and the base and there was a product, okay? Huwag po malilito, okay? If you have any questions about what is acid, again, we will going to discuss it into our next discussion. But I want you to just focus first on the chemical compositions presence of every object, no? Kasi yun po talaga yung pinakamahalaga on how we can classify. Same as with the combustibility. Okay, yun lang po yung bibigay ni sir ng mga quizzes and assignments as well as yung mga activities na gagawin nyo. Apart from that, any computation, any principles of chemical, wala pa po. Because sabi ko nga, we are going to discuss it in our next discussion. Kasi part po siya ng ating discussion or ng ating lesson, ng ating subject. Okay? Ayan. I wanted to just have a generalization, no? A very, very brief, sabi nyo nga, di ba, naiintindihan nyo na yung discussion natin, no? I want to test your knowledge. No, guys, kindly join to our Padlet. Alam ko naman, naka-join naman na kayo dyan. And then, what you're trying to do is that you will try to, ito yung pinakamahalaga dyan, buod na lang po, buod. Okay? Be specific at least. I'm not requiring you to provide a paragraph form of or even a sentence nga I'm not requiring, but a single sentence can do, okay? But as much as possible, make a quotation. Quotation of what, sir? Relating to our topic. How can you fully understand or how can you define what is chemical or physical properties and chemical changes and physical changes? Kindly type it or post it in our Padlet. Here's the link. Okay? Gawin na po yan ngayon. I have sent the link in our chat box. Ayan. Ayan. So, I hope everyone is nakapag-participate na. Ayan. So, ayan, no, ayun. Ayun, dami ko nakita mga answers dito. Very good. Okay. Okay, so later on I will going to check, okay, our topic. So, ayan. Going back. Thank you for your participation, guys. Again, I'm going to check it later for our for your participation in the class. Kung ano ba talaga yung naintindihan nyo about our topic. Ano? Nasa na tayo? Ayan, dito na tayo. Okay na, tapos na po tayo dyan. So, ayan. This is what you're going to do now, class. Since we are in the individual activity, ano? You will now try to make your own collaborative discussion. Sir, how is it possible we are collaborative discussion? And you said that it's an individual. How come that it is collaborative discussion? Actually, I will grade you individually. No, class? How come? Paano po mangyayari yon? Kindly follow the instructions posted in our slides. Can you read it, class? Okay, nababasa po yung mga fonts? Are you sure? Okay. Very good. Thank you, Mr. Hannah. Miss Hannah, for answering or responding. Sabi dito, sabi dito, I will be posting lang naman, no, some activity in our Google Classroom. And then what you're going to do is that you're going to watch a video. Kaya nga stream discussion siya. At least 2 videos. After you have watched that video, again, I am going to observe you, okay? You will going to answer the following questions that I've posted in Google Classroom. Of course, you are going to answer that. Sir, saan po namin siya sasagutan? Doon po sa mismong class discussions. Sa may comment box ng class discussions, doon sa mismong post na nilagay ko. Doon nyo po siya ilalagay, okay? Paano naman po magiging collaborative yun, sir? How come that it will be a collaborative discussion from us classmates? And we will just going to answer the questions and post our answers. Actually, guys, the interesting part here is that you are going to find one classmate. Okay, each one of you find one classmate, and then you will going to provide a feedback based on his or her answer. Let's say, for example, si Mr. Levi, nag-answer na siya ng number 1 and 2 and 3. And then si Hannah, pinili niya si Mr. Levi, nagagawa niya ng feedback about Mr. Levi's answer. Naiintindihan mo ba? Same as with Mr. Levi, maghahanap din siya ng kaklase niya na pwede niyang gawan. And that will become a collaborative discussion na. Just because whether you are agree at what he said about the video that you were going to watch, or you have a stand about it. Okay, you have any recommendations pa na kailangan pang idagdag ng kaklase nyo? Anything. Okay? As long as the ideas are related to the video that I will be going to send to you guys, that you are going to watch in Google Classroom, and at the same time align po siya. Okay? If it is not aligned, then I cannot assure you that you can have a good grade. So, yun lang po. Okay? So, let's say for example, hindi ka nagsagot sa kaklase mo, pero nagsagot ka lang sa mga following questions that I've posted in Google Classroom, then I will going to deduct your grade as well. Naintindihan mo ba? Okay, very good. Do you have any questions, class, about the individual activity? Okay, very good. Ayan, here's the link. Anyway, since you are all joined naman, is there anyone here who is not yet joined in our Google Classroom? Okay, kindly type 5. Okay, wala naman, no? So far, lahat po ay naka-join na. So I assume that you can actually see, okay, the post that I have posted in Google Classroom. Nandun na rin po yung mga YouTube videos, yung mga links. You're just going to watch it now. You're just given 15 minutes to answer. May time yan. Kapag in-attempt nyo na po siya, you are just given 15 minutes to answer. And then, after you've answered those questions, you will wait first of all of your classmates na makasagot bago kayo mag-respond to each and every one. Okay? Naintindihan mo ba? Is it clear? You have any questions about the activity? Wala naman po? Okay. Shall I proceed? Okay, very good. Ayan, here's the criteria lang naman, no, for the individual activity. Again, even though it's collaborative, I will base on your explanations individually. It doesn't mean that it is collaborative. We will base on the partners that you have chosen in terms of having a collaborative discussion. Hindi po ganun pag-grade ko, kaya nga po individual activity po siya eh. Okay, naintindihan mo ba? Okay. Ayan, so now that we have finished no about our individual activity, we are now going to our differentiated group activity. No, so class, take a note of this. Ayan. Nababasa po ba? Is it readable, class? Okay, thank you for your response, Mr. Ash. Babasa naman daw po. Okay. Basahin ng maigi. Since I have grouped you naman na into 3, diba? You are now all aware of your group members, I guess. Nakita na rin po ba kung sino yung mga group members nyo? That will be your permanent group, no? Do you have any stand against the group members? May reklamo po ba? Do you have any assumptions or you have any concerns about your group members? Wala naman? Okay, very good. So I assume that you can you can collaborative, diba? Well, you have a collaborative skills into you. So the group 1, what they're going to do is, sino yung mga group 1 dito, makinig po. If you have any questions na din, kindly take a screenshot na din po or print screen about the instructions that I've given to you and as well as the activity that you are going to do as a group. Group number 1, collage photo essay exhibition. Anong pong gagawin ninyo dyan? Maghahanap lang po kayo, let's say, for example, you're just going to find some objects that are related to our topic. Let's say, physical or chemical properties. Paano po yon? You're just going to take a picture from that. Okay? And then, every member who's going to take a pictures, the leaders will collate every pictures that they have, and it will be like a photo exhibition. No, it is up to you how design will you come up with. Sir, ano po mga objects that we can see in our home? Ano po pwede namin picture? Actually, let's say for example, nagpapakulo lang ng tubig yung nanay mo. Actually, pwede mo siyang picturean. Or you can see a melting ice. Okay? Pwede mo siyang picturean. Or you can see a rust in your backyard. Pwede niyo siyang picturean. Anything, as much as it is related to our discussion, no, class, as much as possible, be creative then. Okay? Be creative, always align to our lesson. And you will going to, of course, explain that based on what uh, picture uh, you have took or you've taken a picture, paliwanag po yun isa-isa. And then, once you are done, the leader, di ba, will collate, of course, and the responses of the group members based on their explanations of their photo, their photography, their photograph pala, rather, you are now going to post it in our Facebook group. Okay? Facebook group. Paano po siya, sir? Is it, ayun, may tanong po si ano, may tanong daw po si Mrs. Begalbal, group 1 ka po ba? Ayan, nagsabi siya sa comment section, "Sir, papaano po kapag, saan pong application namin siya gagawin?" Actually guys, na it is based on your own naman, no? Since I'm not requiring you, let's say for example, just stick with Word and compile it in Word. Actually, you can use any kinds of platforms you need to present in order, sabi ko nga, just be creative at making your own exhibit, 'di ba? Kasi I am grading you individually and as a group also, 'di ba? So, be creative as much as possible. Again, wala naman akong require na you just only have to compile it in Word and present it next week. Kasi present niyo po siya and then you just are going to have a brief discussion, no? So, yun lang. Do you have any questions pa about the group 1? Any concerns about the group 1 members? Wala naman na? Okay, very good. Shall I proceed to the next group? Na-screenshot na po ba? Na print screen? Okay, very good. Ayan. This one is this is actually good thing about the group 2 now. Sir, why do we have iba't ibang activities? Actually, guys, in order for you to be flexible, no, you both need to make a lot or differentiated activity. Ano ang pong gagawin ng group 2? What are the group 2 going to do? Kindly read your topic, aspiring web designers. No? What are we gonna do that, sir? Paano po namin siya gagawin? Ganito lang po gagawin ninyo, no? You're just going to make your own website, no? Websites, what sense, okay? In a sense of what, sir? Gagawa po kayo ng website nyo, of course, relating pa din po sa ating subject which is physical and chemical properties. Again, it should be aligned to our topic. Ano? And the only thing that you need to use some application in terms of making or modifying your own website or crafting your own website is just Google site. Google site lang po. Ano? Again, class, I am not requiring you to use any application or any website making application. But then again, I am only requiring you to use Google Site because Google Site is very accessible and it's free. Okay, you don't have to worry for nothing and it's very basic. I know naman na you have an idea naman na what is the Google Sites, di ba? Because you have come up with that kind of sites din naman na, no? So, ayan lang po, to fully uh, ano okay, to fully discuss to you what is the Google Sites, no? I will show to you. Ayan. So, the very good thing here about this thing class is that ang pinaka-tinitignan po ni sir, pinaka-pinag-grading dyan is the title of your website because the title will be the one who will carry your website, no? And if it is eye-catching and it is very informative and at the same time creative, then I can assume that you will have a good grade, diba? Ito yung very good example, portfolio. You can actually make any kinds of formats you need, let's say project, any kinds of website formats, okay? Let's wait a minute. Bagal siya. Ayan, I hope you're all aware naman na what they're going to do here, no? So, again, you're just going to make your own website. Okay, so for the group members, what they're going to do is you can both have a contribution. Let's say, for example, in this member, si gantong member, magagawa siya ng video, mag-attach siya ng video relating about physical or chemical properties. Same as with other group members, they are going to provide some attachments, other files that are related to our subjects, anything po guys, no? As long as at least make your website creative and informative. Yun lang po yung pinaka-hinihingi ni sir, okay? I don't require you to use other websites again because I just want you to use Google Sites because it's easily or readily accessible. Okay? Naintindihan ho ba? Okay. Do you have any questions, Group 2? Uh, Once you have finished it, kindly post just the link na lang of your Google website. And I can actually see naman, okay? Because the link is the process of how you can see the website, diba? Just post the link in our FB group page. Yun na lang. Tapos na tayo sa Group 2, sa Group 3 naman. Sir, we were going to do a research. Actually, yes, sa Group 3. Sir, how come? Bakit research po? Sabi ni, ayan, sabi ni Mr. Erwin. Group 3 ka ba, Mr. Erwin? Okay, yes. Group 3 daw po siya. Paano po daw research? Kindly read the instructions. Sabi nga po dito, you're just going to make a short research, guys. No, you don't have to make a complicated research or what. You just have to make a short research, no, about our topic. And sir, what title are we going to do from the research? Actually, you can conceptualize from other experiments, or you can base from other experiments. Let's say you can watch other experiments related to our subject or related to our topic, which is physical or chemical properties. O halimbawa, you are basing on an experiment of a Coke and a Mentos. Is its chemical properties? Yes. And then you're just going to support your answers based from the reviews of the related literatures from other studies that they have an effect in their daily living, anything that will support your answer. Again, guys, it is not a burdensome when you heard the word research because you are a STEM students, and I believe that you can acquire both inquiry and scientific investigation skills, diba? Kasi you were trained to be like that. Come on, diba? STEM kayo, and I assume that you can manage to do it somehow, diba? Hmm. Sabi ni sir dito, the research parts that you're just going to pass to me is just the abstract, introduction, review of the literature, and the conclusion, as well as the reference page. Yun lang po. Okay? You don't need to make a very comprehensive research or what. You just need to make a short research again. Okay? You don't have to fully apply the idea of the research again. You just have to based on its principles lang naman. Okay? And I am basing just the maximum of seven pages only, okay? Which means it's a very short research lang naman. And every member shall have a contribution, okay? Shall have the percentage. Pakisabi po ng group leader kung sino hindi tumulong, and then I will not include you to the group activity, no? Once you have finished doing your research, you will post it to our FB page. Okay, kindly state your group name. And then, you are going to present it next week. Okay? Malinaw po ba sa mga research inquirers? Group 3, maliwanag. Ayun, may tanong. May tanong si Mrs. Mariel. Group 3 daw si Mrs. Mariel. Sir, papaano po kapag mag magpe-present na po kami ng PowerPoint? Gagawin po ba namin siyang study proposal or hindi na? Actually, guys, no, sabi ko, you are not totally basing on the research itself. No, hindi naman ako research teacher. I'm not a research teacher. But then again, I am not going to argue with your study or your research because you don't have the actual data. No, what you're just going to do, you're just going to watch an experiment and then you're trying to make a research from it. Okay, yun lang po yung gagawin ninyo. You don't have to make something that will support your answer or make a theory, hypothetical reasoning. Wala na pong ganon. Kasi again, we are not a research subject. I'm just going to ask you how did you come up with that idea or you're just going to present. But then again, there was no debate or any kinds of instances that will be happening kasi hindi ko naman po kayo babarin or what. Okay, you're just going to present. Same as with the other group members in our next discussion, no? Present lang po lahat ng gawa ng mga group members and then tapos na po tayo doon. Okay? I will not ask you some questions regarding your topic. If it is a research, again, you're just going to present it in our next discussion. Is it clear, class? Group 3, have any questions before Before I proceed to the next slide, kindly take a screenshot na din for those who are not having the screenshot of about the instructions that you're going to do. Okay, tapos na. Ayun na. Ayan, so this is my rubrics as usual for the group activity. Hope you're all aware from that. Sa evaluation naman guys, okay? Sa evaluation, I will be sending a quiz now in our Google Classroom and then you will just going to answer. Here's the link naman. And then there was an allotted deadline. Of course, you need to follow the deadline. And if you cannot follow the deadline and you failed to answer the quiz, then I cannot give you, okay, any, but you need to have a valid reason why you cannot take a quiz, okay? If it is not a valid, then I cannot assure that I can still consider you take or retaking another quiz because, diba, it's unfair to everyone who answered, diba, quickly and you just answer it just because you are not aware of the deadline. Hindi po ganun yun. Ano, again, you will be having a quiz that I will going to send in Google Classroom. Quiz number 1 and quiz number 2. Ayan po yung both niya. Google Docs push. Ay, as a Google form, you're going to answer it in Google form. Okay? Are we clear, class? Okay. Kindly visit our Google Classroom since all of you naman have joined and are enrolled na din po dun sa ating Google Classroom. So, I assume that you can all answer the quiz that we are going to that I'm going to send to you, no? Madali lang po siya, actually. Ayan, so the announcement before we end our discussion, there will be also an assignment will be posted in our Google Classroom also. Please be guided accordingly. Now, again, guys, please follow the deadlines as much as possible. I am not considering a late submissions, because I believe that a punctual student is a stepping stone to its success. Okay, always remember being a punctual, being perseverance, being hardworking students earn something greater that is far beyond your imagination or far beyond your expectation. Tandaan po ninyo yan, okay? Always magpasa ng maaga. Kasi, uh, I'm basing din pala kapag if you pass early, I will give additional points to those who pass early their assignments, okay? So, yeah. I will also post an assignment and you will just going to see it in our Google Classroom. There was an instructions na then. Again, guys, kindly follow the instructions, ha? There were some of you who are still struggling from instructions. There's some minor adjustments that I need to make an adjustment. But then again, I included as a correct na rin kasi minor lang naman. But then again, in our next assignment, I will not consider it anymore, no? So be mindful to always follow his instruction. If it is all caps lock, then it is all caps lock. Okay? All caps lock yung letter, even though your answer is correct din naman, but then again you will have that I will deduct that grade from you because kasi hindi ka nagpa-follow sa instruction, 'di ba? So that you need to take it as a consideration din, class, na that you need to follow instructions. So ayan, again, before I end my class, I have this short quotation about Mr. Koro Sensei staying in assassination classroom saying that I study to, how could I teach if I didn't grow and learn day by day by Koro Sensei. So, ayan, it is important that we still need to learn every day because learning is fun. Okay, take it as a compliment, guys. No, don't take it as a burden that you are allowed or you're just allowed to study just because you have to in order for your career. But make it as a habit studying because studying again is fun. Okay, studying is a gift that you cannot achieve by just buying, okay, things. It is priceless. Okay, it can only be acquired here in school, and school is a haven for learning. And as long as you're still learning, you will try to develop your holistical development, your knowledge and skills, and be always mindful to that, no? Huwag po kayong magsawang matuto araw-araw. Kasi, yeah, I'm proud of this section that uh, this section is complete, and I can assume that all of you are motivated in our discussion proper because all of you attend. Even at this moment of time, you were still at the 30. Wow, I congratulate you guys. Thank you po. I congratulate you because you've able to come up to this far discussion, and you are not leaving our class. And I'm thankful for this section. Again, I'm thankful for your kind participation, for your suggestions, for your participation about our topic, about our lesson. Again, thank you po class. As I was saying, as always contain or always maintain that consistency of your section, okay? Because I'm very proud that you are both knowledgeable and you are both interactive in our class discussion. So, ayan. So again, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for your participation again. It is me, Niko Dolar. If you have any question, you can email me or you can just have a PM me via Messenger about our discussion. Or if you have any personal issues, maybe I can deal with you personally na lang. No, but then again, you don't have to ask it here in our discussion because it is not related to our discussion. No. So again, guys, thank you for your staying for our online class, attending our online class again, once again. Thank you for your kind participation. Ano, guys? So, do you have, very, ano na lang to, no? Do you have any questions po so far about our discussions? Wala naman? Wala naman po? Wala naman so far? Okay, so, ayan. Wala naman. So, I hope that you're having a good day today. Again, class, thank you and see you on our next discussion. Okay? Bye bye. Thank you.